The woman you were before the world told you who to be. She is still breathing inside you. You lost her in the rush to be enough for everyone. She never left. She waits, silent, beneath the armor you built to survive. Every role you play, daughter, partner, professional, mother, demands a version of you that is palatable, smaller, never too much. You muted your fire, polished your edges, and called it growing up. But that fire was never a flaw. You feel exhausted not simply from overwork, but from the constant performance of being everything to everyone. You smile on cue, say the right words, and somewhere inside a scream is trapped behind perfect teeth. This is not living. They tell you to fix the burnout with more self-care, a bubble bath, another productivity hack. But the problem is not a lack of optimization. The problem is you are optimizing a self that was never meant to carry all this weight. You built your worth on achievements, accolades, and other people's approval. But when the silence comes, and there is no one to impress, you wonder if there is anyone left inside the armor at all. That terrifying emptiness is the gateway. Every self-help book that tells you to become a better version of yourself can become another layer of paint over the real you. You end up chasing an ideal that is still external, still someone else's definition of worthy. The effort exhausts because it is a lie. You have been taught to override your instincts, to rationalize away the subtle nudge that says, this is not right. Society calls it being strong. But that voice is a compass, and ignoring it has left you wandering in a desert made by others. You have collected accolades like shells on a shore, hoping the next one will make you feel whole. But a soul starves on hollow praise. You are not depressed. You are deeply, spiritually unfulfilled, because you have been feeding the wrong part of yourself. What if the answer is not another goal, but a letting go? What if the path home is not paved with more becoming, but with a conscious, deliberate unbecoming? The shedding of every label that sits too tight on your soul. This is not about fixing a broken you. It is about remembering the one who was never broken, the essential self that existed before the world started naming you. She is not a better version. She is the original, and she is quiet but furious. And maybe the first whisper is not a roar, but a slight ache when you smile for another photograph that captures only the costume. That ache is the voice of your essential self, asking you to listen. To unbecome is not a passive exhale. It is to look every should in the eye and say, you are not my keeper. It is the daily shedding of borrowed skin until you stand bare in your light. When you start saying no to the roles that confined you, some will call you selfish. They will miss the version they could control, and you will finally understand that their comfort was never your responsibility. There is grief in unbecoming, a quiet funeral for selves you carefully built. You will mourn the approval that died when you stopped performing, but beyond that grief is a silence so full it feels like home. The essential self does not speak in English. She speaks in goosebumps, in the gut pull of an unexpected no, in the deep exhale when you finally walk away from the room that was shrinking you. The hardest demand is the void unbecoming leaves. You'll want to fill it instantly with a new project, a new title, but the essential self asks you to stay empty until your own voice becomes the loudest sound there. As you unbecome, you will lose people, not because you stopped loving them, but because the you they loved was never whole. The essential self will only be companioned by those who can behold her unmasked. You will arrive not at a perfect version, but a true one. She is not shiny. She is ancient and tender. She doesn't need a mission statement. She needs a morning fog and your hand on your heart. And one morning, you will wake up and not remember when you stopped performing. You will just notice the peace in your own company. The world did not end when you chose yourself. It finally began. You were never lost, only buried. The essential self is not a destination, but the quiet ground beneath every step you take when you finally walk your own path. She has been here all along,